Welcome back to Holly and Photography Studios. This is Coach Nickens. We're here again for the Black History Month project. Today I'm here with Valerie from Anselme Photography.
Yes.
Thank you for coming down.
Yes,
We definitely appreciate you taking the time. We know firsthand as content creators it gets pretty busy.
Yeah.
so to say. So but let's jump into it. So tell me about your culture. Like where are you from? And what's your cultural background?
So I am Haitian American. I was born here, but my cultural background is Haiti.
Nice. Which part of Haiti is the family from?
Mostly Port-au-Prince.
Port-au-Prince? Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah. Mine as well. Out of Delmarcis and all that, and like surrounding areas. But yes. Port-au-Prince is definitely where it's at.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite part about Haitian culture?
So many.
Food.
Definitely. Like for me, Haitian food is top tier. Mm-hmm. Like that's my favorite go-to. Our history, because it's very rich. Mm-hmm. I've been learning more about our history for the past couple of years, and it just gives me that much more pride of being Haitian. And then our music and dancing.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The music is underrated.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think like there's so much going on in like the island. You know, it's nuts to think about.
Yeah.
I like the food, the dancing, the music. You just can't go wrong every aspect.
You cannot. Not at all.
Not at all. All right. What does Black History Month mean to you in general?
For me, it means granted, there's the quote that's like, we celebrate Black history every day. But it's a more like centralized focus of Black history. Being able to really kind of like think about all the sacrifices that have been done, not only in the US, but around the world when it comes to Black culture. And it kind of just, kind of brings you, at least for me, brings me back on like why I'm here, what I'm doing, my purpose, and being like re-inspired by the stories of all these different pioneers and people that have done so much work for us to be where we are today.
Yeah, it's a ton. I think like a lot of times you'll hear Black History Month because it's a celebration that happens in the U.S. People tend to forget like Black history is ubiquitous. Like it's everywhere.
Yes.
But speaking of pioneers, who were some of the pioneers that you admire and that inspired you?
Yeah, I think of my parents, honestly, because they've really have done a lot of sacrifices going from Haiti, coming to Boston, and in order for us to have the life that we have now. There are a lot of things that, we grew up, like my siblings, I have grown up, seeing them do and also them telling us that has brought me to where I am today. So, yeah, there.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope, because I definitely agree, because a lot of times when we hear the word like pioneer, legend, we tend to forget like they're just all around us. It's not just the popular people that everybody else knows. Like you might have parents, uncles, cousins that are legendary people that do legendary stuff, especially selfless things that push their family forward. So it's great to hear someone come and talk about like their parents in that kind of way. Because it's not easy coming from like another country, whether it be Haiti, whether it be a third world country. Coming somewhere that's a foreign land, not really understanding the culture, understanding the language, making a life for yourself and your children. Like people don't really understand how difficult that is.
Yeah,
like,
it's you're literally adopting a culture and then having to find a way to assimilate so that you're able to work or able to do certain things. So it's a big shift.
Yeah, it's a big shift. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice, especially when you throw kids in the mix.
Because it's like you're trying to. It's what I found with my parents is like they grew up in a certain time frame in a completely different culture. So then trying to raise us with that same mindset in a different culture is just, a riff-raff here and there. But, it's like, that's even like another, like a bigger challenge trying to hurdle.
It's cool too, because like they get to learn a lot from you. And I mean, after a while, like the older you get, because you're growing up in this foreign land. It's not foreign to you necessarily.
Right.
So like, there's a lot of stuff like, they can defer to you, like, hey, how do I jump on this phone, this computer? Like, how do I make this account? What does this word mean? Like,
all of that.
Because like I think it's super cool too, because like it's just generations learning from each other, and like you're learning about your culture from them, because they've have it in their lived experience. So like, it's super cool to think about. And but yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of pioneers. First pioneer you have is definitely your parents.
No, absolutely.
It has to be your parents. Obviously, everyone can't say it that way because
because different experiences, different.
But that's super cool. And so how do you typically celebrate Black History?
That's a really good question. I'm gonna be honest, like I don't think I've done have set ways on celebrating Black History. But one thing, I'm on social media a lot because of my business and such. So being able to read up, I have one friend, Rochelle, she's from Canada, but her stories every single day, she has something on a pioneer or somebody who's important in the Black History Month. So me being able to read that every single day is actually, it's refreshing, because there's so many people that you forget about who's done so many great things. Too many. And she'll do a range from not only just American Black history, but Caribbean and just a whole expansion. So I guess that's my way, just looking at and I guess brushing up on so much different, Black history, people and events and such, and just
I definitely I agree with that. Educating yourself is an underrated way of celebrating Black history. I'd say, because a lot of people say, oh, you know what, I heard about this figure or this person from my fourth grade class, but who haven't you heard about because you haven't done your own research?
You're right.
Right. Who haven't you been exposed to? Because you'd be surprised. There's people out there that you can really relate to, that really have a similar story, similar mindset, and they're from a different time. But because you're sitting there educating yourself, you're learning about what they went through. It really makes it surreal. Wow. I could kind of see the shoes that these people were wearing, whether it be something that happened 10 years ago or 100 years ago. It's just wow, this is what they went through, and it's written about, and I can read about it, I can learn about it, and I can
relate to
tell
it.
others, relate to it as well. So it's I think the biggest metaphor a lot of people say is not metaphor, but saying is it's the shortest month of the year, and then we got Black History. So a lot of people push back and say, I celebrate Black History every single day. I'm that's how you gotta look at it. Because I know we thought of a project as just the BHM project or whatnot, but it's definitely crucial. People know it's a everyday.
It is.
It is.
Because we're Black every day.
I don't just put the skin on top of February, take it off.
Right, exactly. It stays on.
So what inspired you to become a business owner?
That's a great question. I feel like it really more so fell upon my lap.
Oh, really?
I guess really what it is that I love what I do. I love doing photography, and when I saw that I had a gift in it, there were places that I saw that I could go. And the only way that I would be able to do that is to do it full time and start a business out of it.
Of course. And it definitely takes a lot of persistence and resilience to to that full-time space where it's like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But like, you can't have it without like loving what you're doing. You know?
It has to be a love.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, because photography, like, I don't know, I feel like some people might think like photography is just, you know, click and you go to editing and you press the button and, you know, it's there's so much incorporated, especially when you're working with clients. Yep. There's marketing, there's making sure you're getting to clients on time, customer service, planning, scheduling, so much.
It's meticulous. You have to love it. It's meticulous. Like, you really have to, and you can't really, the thing about photography is it's not like a kind of like a field where you're building a brand without being meticulous. The more meticulous you are, like, it's not just about having nice photos. It's about like, how you make people feel while you're taking photos of them. Like how you come off, like your aura, your energy. Because I mean, you can have $20,000, $30,000 worth of studio equipment. Yeah. If you're just, the attitude ain't there, like they could tell you're not enjoying yourself while you're doing it, like it's gonna come out in the photo. Yeah,
like, you have to have the love for it and also know like this is a part of your purpose. Yeah. Because then you're operating, like if you're like, oh, I'm just gonna do this because I just want the money. I mean, I guess that's fine, but you won't get the best result because you're not doing it from your heart.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean that really goes with anything. But
no, of course. But especially like if it's a business, because you know this is something that you're just waking up to do, and you're in control of it, and like if it doesn't go, you're not going. So.
Exactly.
So tell me about like the kind of photography you do. Like, is it do you work mostly with like models, families, or?
Right now, I don't know how to say, but I guess I work with everyday people. So I'm mainly a portrait photographer, where my go-to is working one-on-one. Like if it's just like one person, and a lot of times I mostly shoot women. That's not like my target audience, but that's who has, you know, that's mostly the women have been reaching out to me to do shoots. I really love doing like one-on-one shoots because I'm really able to like get comfortable with the client, you know, be able to really just focus on them. I do families as well. I've done children and such, but my niche right now, I guess, is, you know, portrait photography, but like with one person or with
Nice. And I definitely, you know, we've seen some of your work. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Like, it's not for real. It's
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Coming from a content creator to another, like it's inspiring to just see like, because you could tell like if you're a chef tasting somebody else's food, like they really put some time into this. They put their foot in this. Like,
no, I appreciate
you know what I'm saying?
that.
So
Thank
like, it's dope to see because I think what a lot of like entrepreneurs understand is sometimes you do have to niche out before you try to, you know, this and try that. Like figure out what you're great at and then, you know, lean back on it.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of it really does take when you're starting out, like trying out so many things. Because I've done event photography, I've done wedding photography, I've done so many different things that I've realized some of those, like I can do them. Yeah. I can do, but it's not in me to do it. Yeah. It's not a part of my purpose. So I just don't, I don't do weddings anymore. I don't really do events. I stick with what, now after so many years of doing it, I know what I'm going for.
Yeah,
what sticks for me.
It's a broad field. Like there's a lot you could do. You could do boudoir, portrait. You could do
landscaping,
animal photography, underwater photography.
Yep.
Like
there's
it's
whole range.
It's sports photography. There's so much to do.
Food photography.
I couldn't do food photography. I'd probably gain.
Really?
I'd probably gain 100 pounds.
No, you wouldn't want to touch the food after.
But you know what's funny? It's like I've done some food photography shoots, and like I could see like this just looks nice.
Yeah.
But like it's like you said, you wouldn't really want to touch it after. But
and you know what's funny? In a lot of the commercials, to make it look perfect. Commercials are just like, you know, food photography in general. There's so many things that they do to make the food look as pristine as it does, and you do not want to eat it because they'll use like glue for the for like cereal or like car material or car spray to make the burger glisten. Like they're like, you really don't want to eat it afterwards. Like
I've watched YouTube videos and I'm like, they really go this hard to make sure this burger looks perfect.
Looks perfect.
And when you take it out the drive-thru, you like, bro.
Yeah, it's like, not the same.
That's why I'd rather shoot people.
It's appeal.
You know?
It's the appeal.
I'd rather shoot people because if someone's really good looking, they're gonna just be really good looking in photos.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And I mean, there's only, you know, there's only so much you could do with food, but it's like, after knowing like what really goes into it, just like I'm good. So what tips would you have for like people that are aspiring entrepreneurs?
Know what you're getting into. Do all the research from taxes, whether you're doing a sole proprietorship, LLC, or like S corp, whatever, however you want your business to be built up. Knowing what you'll need in the future and your future goals. Like, where are you trying to be in the next 5-10 years, and divvying out those goals and trying to reach them. But number one is research. And then reach out to other entrepreneurs that are in your field. Like, sometimes people could be a little weird about giving information, which is weird to me. But, you know, reach out to different entrepreneurs, ask them questions, you know, take them out for lunch or dinner, or even if you have to pay them to get information, because education and knowledge about what you're trying to do is so necessary. So
it's an accelerator. It's an accelerator. And
absolutely.
I think, like, I know what you mean. Like, when people get weird about giving out knowledge, it's two extremes, right? It's like some people are just like, you know what? I see this person's potential. I see the promise they have. I see like their dedication, and I see how curious they are about this. So, like, you know, I'm gonna be a nerd, and I'm gonna just give them as much game as I can give, without you know, taking away their need to be, you know.
They
need to persevere. Because I think if you give everybody everything, they're just gonna take it for granted. But like,
I mean, I guess there's some sort of a like cutting point, but I've worked with, like I've talked to like different photographers who I'm cool with, and you know, they would be kind of like afraid to ask me questions on stuff, and they're like, is it okay? And I'm just like, yeah, because at the end of the day, right, although we're in Boston or Massachusetts, I can't shoot every single person in the state who wants to do portraits. And I'm always gonna have a different style than they have their style. So we're gonna have different clientele. You know, so it's like, even if I give you the information that I give you, whether it's learning how to shoot with strobes or, you know, things to help progress your business, you're not actually really a competition, because we're always going to have different clients. So like, you know, they've had experiences of outreaching photographers and they're like, no, just do your own research. And for me, I understood how hard it was when I was starting up looking up information, and it was tough. So I'm like, if I can help you like learn, you know, from my mistakes and stuff to help you be a better photographer, then why not? You know? Like in the future, maybe I'll have classes that are paid and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
If you just asking me like, oh, what websites have you used? Here. Like I don't know why things should, you know, a lot of times just be in secrecy. So.
It's and I think I made a post about this a while back. I was like, the people are so stuck on Google and YouTube. The best way to learn about something is kind of like how you went and got a degree. You didn't get not anyone who's getting like a degree, you kind of have to go to an institution. You have to sit down with professors. They got to you know, teach you. You got to talk to people. Life is about people. You know what I'm saying?
You have
like,
to network.
Find somebody who's killing it, or who's trying to do it the same way you're doing it. It's not just about like seeking mentors. A lot of times it's good to kind of rub shoulders with somebody who's on the same level as you, because you might run into someone that's mentoring them. You know, like networking is, like you said, is very, very important. And I think people like, you know, you gotta run into those people that just like, I'm not helping you.
Right.
I had to do this on my own.
Yeah.
I was in the trenches. I was, you know what I'm saying? But it's like,
you just give the information. It's like literally right there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's just if someone's asking you what kind of software you're using to get like that kind of lighting or whatever the case may be, just tell the person this is the software.
Yeah, because I'm like literally other photographers use it. So what you're being, you know, so
yeah, and like you said, I think it's having that false sense of like competition. Like I might see like XYZ's videos, XYZ's photos, and feel like, oh, okay, well, this competition, like that doesn't make sense. Like there's there's too much really clientele to go around.
Exactly.
Too much clientele to go around.
Exactly.
Like, way too much. And the thing about art, whether it's like you're doing photos, music, movies, and any type of art, there's always going to be a large market share.
Yeah.
So, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Like, people think you're competition. You're trying to steal my style.
Yeah, it's like no.
That's not the vibes. That's not the vibes at all. That's not the vibes at all. So, what have been sort of the best things about doing it full time for you?
Having my own schedule. I've realized my mornings are a lot calmer because I have the time to do my devotions, exercise, stretch, and do my affirmations and get ready in the morning and kind of just be like, okay, now I'm ready to tackle the day. Yeah. So, and I mean, that comes with discipline. Oh yeah. Which took years.
All that stuff you said just comes with
it comes with a lot of discipline, and I'm still learning to be self-disciplined in those areas, but it really helps me to just be able to live a much more calmer, not so rushed life. I'm still quite busy, but at least my mornings are a little more like refreshed than if I was doing, working elsewhere and doing a 9 to 5 and getting up, rushing, getting ready, and everything. So
yeah, and I mean, you really, I think working doing it full time, like where any kind of like entrepreneurial work, you really get a grasp of like what time really is. Like you really value like your time. Like, cause I'm like, yo, I gotta go out and hunt. I gotta go out and kill something, so,
literally, it's like it's almost like you're working 24/7 because you're always working on the craft. But then also you have the opportunity to take things off. Like I've had like a few emergencies over the last year, and I've been able to just pretty much take that time off without thinking, oh my goodness, is my boss gonna have an issue with me taking that time off and all of that, because I'm my boss. So I'm able to, move as I need to. So that's been a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. That's a light flex. I'm my boss. I gotta ask myself permission to go on vacation. Like, I ain't gonna hold you though. Like I tell folks all the time, like, take that vacation. Like, take that lunch break. They're gonna take it out your check anyways.
Yeah, so it's like you have to live the life that you want to live.
Have to, man. Yeah. Have to, because these jobs, they come and go.
No, they literally do. And then like if you were to, and this is the thing that I always tell, like, my friends who are like working 9 to 5 and they'll be stressed out and stuff. They're like, oh, I need like a me day. I'm like, take that day off, because if you were to die, they're gonna have that posting by the end of the day.
Most definitely.
To get a new so if you have the time available to take the time off, you need that mental health, do it. That mental health day, or you need to go on vacation, do it. Yeah, you work too hard for that.
Way too hard. Even if you're not like you're slacking at work.
Yeah.
Take that vacation.
Yeah. No. Take that.
You know what I mean? Don't be the one sitting at work watching all your friends on Instagram doing their thing and whatnot. Yep. But so like as far as the transition, like when did you kind of know like it's time?
Gosh, so I was working as a graphic, was multiple roles. It was a startup company.
Gotcha.
So I was doing like graphic design and then shifted into like content creation and marketing. And there were a lot of like changes that were happening within the company. And I remember, I think it was like around November, December, towards that end of the like to 2019 because we were going, 2019. And I don't know, like I felt it in my spirit that like it was time for me to go. So that January I did like a whole like fast. Fast and praying that whole month. And I was doing it with Transformation Church. And, I was pretty much praying about like God, because I already knew that at some point I was going to do it full time. So I pretty much had prayed about it, and I was like, hey, God, I need to know if I should move and when I should move.
Gotcha.
And by the end of that month, I got like the confirmation of like, time to peace out.
Gotcha. That's
so I left in February, right before the pandemic hit.
Oh man.
So it was, that was, I was like, oh Jesus, what are we doing here? Right when I was like getting things ready for like, changing my pricing.
Whole world shut down.
Whole world shut down. So it's great. This is fun. But it was well needed for me because I needed the rest. Because I was like running around doing like all the things like from church to, my job, and then also doing my side business and everything. It was just a lot. So it was well needed rest.
Gotcha.
But that time I knew I had to go. So
question I have for you. The position you had before, like with like the graphic design, did you get a lot of transferable skills from that helped you with the transformation?
Wait, sorry.
Like did you get transferable skills from like your previous job that helps you now as like as a photographer, full time photographer?
I guess like the organization.
Yeah.
Because we had like a file system with our graphic designs, like all the different designs that we did for the businesses that were working with us. We had like a file structure. So yeah, pretty much organization and also discipline, because it was a startup. So a lot of things were like, whatever position I had, I was, of course, like I answered to somebody else, but I was still kind of like my own boss in that area. So I literally had to make sure I had a schedule of like what I'm gonna shoot, what items I'm gonna need, when to order those items, and then to have them shot and edited by a certain time and everything. So that, and then with the graphic design, it was pretty much similar to that. Like, if something came up randomly, like knowing what to prioritize and such. So I guess that in that way that helped.
Yeah, definitely. Like I mean, a lot of I think what I pick up on, like a lot of people who just went full time or whatever they're into, they had like that last or second to last like job that they were holding. They got a lot of transferable skills or just ways of doing things and methodologies. Sorry. Methods that helped them like become a beast in what they were doing. And like I tell folks all the time, like if you're going to go full time and you want to be doing XYZ, like find something like that's close to that world, as opposed to just you can't just jump from night into day and think it's gonna be that easy. It's possible, but it's easier if you're already at a job that is giving you skills that are going to be helpful for your business.
Right. And in all honesty, like I feel like my whole journey going up to like when I started photography and then from going full time, like I had another job that was like customer service on the phone, and I was working pretty much for Mass Health. So you have like a range of customers, like from customers being angry on the phone, and you have to like de-escalate that, people being happy. So it's so learning patience through that and customer service skills through that helped me with my business too. So it's like never underestimate whatever position you have, whether it's you being a janitor, whether it's you being a cashier, or, you know, you're working in an office as an office administrator. Like, all of those jobs will pretty much help you with being an entrepreneur. So with everything that you do it 110%, because that will help you in your future.
Of course.
So never underestimate whatever position you have.
Yeah, there's definitely transferable skills in every position, but you just got to know which ones to pinpoint. Like, if there's 10, 15 like things you do every day at work, what out of these 10 to 15 things is going to help me in my business when I do go full time? So yeah, that's definitely a great way to look at it. So for the people that are looking to get in touch with you, how can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me by email, Anselme Photography @gmail.com, or you could reach out via my Instagram, which is Anselme Photography.
All right, yeah, perfect. Like, anyone who's looking to reach out to network or for photography services, you know where to hit her up at.
Hey, girl.
Thanks again for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
And
This was great.